We all got really excited about a PCE number that was supposed to come in and just drop bond traders' drawers a couple weeks ago. The reading came in exactly, precisely, just right. But you know what happened? The market was frozen because of the season finale of the United States that had aired the night before. Then we didn't get the reaction we wanted or deserved on mortgage-backed securities. Then the jobs report came out last week showing unemployment had in fact ticked up in the exact way we wanted it to, which was rumored to be another panty dropper. But when it came to the market's enthusiasm, it was a bit dry. Tomorrow we'll get the CPI numbers, and while industry economists are doing everything they can to get loan officers across the country hyped up about some party we're supposedly going to see on the demand for bonds, I'm not going to lose any sleep tonight praying. Because if we're being honest, I think the market has already built in 2 rate cuts on the Fed funds rate, and mortgage interest rates are reflecting it in what we're pricing and quoting to borrowers today. This really means we aren't going to see any meaningful improvement, if I'm right, on rates until 2025. So let's just talk about something else today, shall we? There's inflation, there's stagflation, there's shrinkflation, and now there's upflation. We're all up to speed on inflation, more than any of us ever wanted to be in our lifetimes. When inflation gets combined with stagnant economic growth and unemployment, you have stagflation. Now, if you're an economy nerd, meaning you read a lot of Bloomberg, you're probably familiar with shrinkflation as well. This is when the producers of our favorite products put less of the product in the same bag and keep the price the same. The new kid on the block that's getting lots of nods, upflation. It's a tactic you'll want to start paying attention to. Companies are taking everyday products and adding a very tiny, inconsequential twist and then charging a consequentially higher price. Have you seen whole body deodorant? It's the same as the one you rub on your pits, same amount of product, but it costs $5 more. Procter & Gamble is betting on the fact that you're tired of making decisions. Your brain is a bit fried from the last 4 years of nonstop drama. You'll pay more for a supposed innovation because we're all desperate for something fresh and new. Not only in the White House, but in our bathroom drawer too. Speaking of the White House, wasn't that a great transition? Both candidates are claiming the housing crisis is of utmost importance to their campaigns and administrations should they get elected. So it's a foundational piece of both platforms. What is the impact of another Biden term on our industry? Biden is a proponent of density. He wants to loosen zoning laws to allow for more multifamily development. He seems to be pro-tenant, advocating for renters' rights, but this is a real catch-22 for the real estate market. Landlords don't like regulation. We are seeing that right here, right now, with rent control being proposed and fought fiercely in Nevada. His tax incentive for people to sell their starter homes to buy a move-up home was well-intentioned, right? That would free up some inventory if sellers who have felt trapped by higher interest rates were motivated by a tax incentive that would offset that higher interest rate and then list their house for sale. Problem is, when sellers list their house for sale, they become buyers too. So it doesn't really help with the inventory problem. We need inventory created out of thin air, honestly. That's what's going to be required to solve this inventory and housing crisis. What about a second Trump presidency? What would that do for real estate? The man loves low interest rates, and he's a believer of real estate. I'll give him that. His fans say he believes American society benefits from more homeowners. We also know he's a proponent of deregulation, which is likely to bring that NAR lawsuit right back front and center. Trade disputes are a problem, though, because he's not the most agreeable. He imposes tariffs on whims, and that causes inflationary issues, which is not good for interest rates and not good for supply chain issues. On the other hand, his 2024 plan to make America great again includes a very interesting tidbit on federal land and opening it up to be developed for housing. Not sure how his Middle America base feels about this, but it's a big deal here in Nevada, not only because old Reno folks hate density, but because 80.1% of our state is federal land. Does anyone want to live in those rural areas? I don't know, but it's an idea. Here's the reality about real estate. Housing is mainly a local issue, guys. So I would suggest focusing on our local representatives' platforms and the candidates running right here, because it's going to come down to them to make meaningful change when it comes to housing and affordability here. or wherever you are watching this video.